Level Up and Thrive. I'm your host, Felicia Etienne, your high performance success coach and business and life strategist. On this episode, we have the Ebonizer. Yes, she's on here. Ebony Archer. She's an award-winning entertainer, certified speaker, coach, and author. Her mission in life is to ebonize others, which means to help them transform them into greatness. With over 10 years in the music industry, combined with 8 years of entrepreneurial leadership sales experience, she wants you to utilize your knowledge to help others succeed in their business, brand, and all personal aspects of their life. I am excited to chat with you, Ebony. Welcome to Level Up and Thrive.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you for coming on. So today we're going to talk about you. When we talked initially, you said it's all about the B.G.C Formula. At the end of the day, that's what's going to give you the breakthrough and going to help you to transform your life. So I want to start there. Like, tell us about the B.G.C Formula. What does it stand for, first of all? And how is this going to help us to level up in our lives, in our business?
So the B.G.C, it stands for belief, grind, and consistency, right? It's all the ingredients. I say, if you're baking a cake, you have to have the right ingredients, right? Or that cake ain't gonna taste good. So in order to achieve what you want in life, you gotta believe, you have to grind, you gotta be consistent with it.
So I love this. So you're talking about there's three parts to this formula here. First is the belief. You gotta believe, then you gotta grind, and you gotta be consistent. So let's break this thing down to ensure that folks understand. So when you talk about you've got to believe, like, what do you mean by that? What is your definition of belief, and how is that going to help us break through some of the things that holds us back or things that we've been struggling with? As you know, for the last 2 years, we're coming out of this pandemic. Some people are feeling like inspired. Others are like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen next. Now we have to worry about this recession. It's like constantly things are happening, and their belief that they had in themselves is maybe starting to dwindle down. Whereas others is like, hi. But let's narrow this down for what do you mean by the belief?
So belief, number one, in order to believe, right? We hear songs and motivational speakers talking about believe in yourself, believe in yourself. The problem is, how do I do that? How do I believe in myself when there's so many things that's going against me, where I don't know where my next check gonna come from, where I don't know how I'm gonna pay my light bill, my gas note? How do I believe in those situations? Number one, in order to believe in something, you have to know what you're believing in. Repeat that. In order to believe in something, you have to know what you're believing in. See, a lot of times we don't believe in ourselves because we don't know ourselves. We don't know what we want. We don't know our goals. Some people just, at one point I was just living through the motions. I was just here because I had to, right? So in order to believe, take the time to really sit down and identify who you truly are. What do you like? Where are your goals? Do you even like the job that you at? Is that what it's, sometimes we're stuck in a 9 to 5, we don't like it. Like, who are you? What do you want out of life? I think with the COVID-19, when that happened, it forced people to actually sit down in their stuff. It forced us to really look in the mirror and say, who are we? And a lot of times when we look in that mirror, we don't recognize who we are. So you can't believe in something that you don't know. So I tell people, in order to start the process of self-belief, date yourself. I had no shame in dating myself. I take myself out to the movies. I go on a shopping spree, go on a spa day, whatever I need to do to get to know myself, right? Because think about it. When you go on a date, you start dating, you go into this relationship. What you do, you start dating. You get to know the person that you're talking to. You get to know their family background, what their goals in life, what they want. Do they want kids? Do they want that? Do the same thing for yourself. The more you get to learn yourself, the easier it is to believe, because now you know the goals, you know the purpose, you know what you want out of life. And then when you start believing, you start putting it to action. See, faith without works is dead. So once you start really getting to know yourself, you're going to start to believe it, right? They say write the vision and make it plain. I'm going to take it a step further. When you start learning yourself, write your vision, write your goals, write out what you want to achieve in the next year, 2 years, 5 years. And every morning, read it to yourself. When you go to bed at night, read it to yourself, because whatever you profess, you're going to start to believe, you're going to start to manifest. So in order to start believing, date yourself, get to know yourself, write out a plan, and just don't write it out, but speak it every morning and every night. And I promise you, you're going to see progress along the way.
Well, thank you so much for really breaking this down for us, because you're so right. And sometimes the simple things are the things that we just like pass over, right? You say, oh, just believe in yourself. But if you don't know yourself, you're right. A lot of us don't know who we are, truly are. And I was listening to a podcast this morning, and they had a little piece of what Oprah was talking about when she asked people, who are you? People just tell her, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I'm a this, I'm a lawyer, I'm a coach. But who are you? We are more than that. And some of the things you're talking about is how we can start to peel back that onion and really get to know ourselves. And you're right. In the pandemic, all of us had a chance to sit back in your stuff because you couldn't go anywhere. And sometimes
Nope.
you realize, like the place you were in your life, or even some of the people that were around you. So there was a lot of reflection. Is this the right job? Is this the right person? Is this the right spouse? Is this the right place for me to live? Everything was in question because we had a chance to really be with ourselves. So I think that's a powerful, and I hope everyone is taking notes for all of us, no matter what stage of life you're in. Take a moment and see, do you truly know who you are? Because if you don't, you have to believe in yourself and trust yourself to move forward. Powerful, powerful. So now I want to go to the G in here. I want to talk about grind, right? And I know what you were talking about. You're like, because I think I was talking to you about, they have this hustle and grind, and you're like, it's not about the hustle and the grinding. It's grind with a purpose. So break down, what do you mean by grind with a purpose?
So when you start believing yourself, you start dating yourself, you're taking action plans, you're sitting and writing down your vision, your 1 year, 2 year, 5 year plan, right? And you're speaking it. Okay, that's the first step. But now you got to work at it, right? Because you can't just speak it and not put action to it. See, the problem is that sometimes, and I was guilty of it. Okay, I'm speaking, I want to do this. So let's say I want to be a millionaire. Okay, I had to take action steps to be a millionaire. Okay, number one, I can't hang around broke people. That don't make sense, right? If you want to be a billionaire or millionaire, you can't hang around broke people, because why? You're going to have a broke mentality. So number one, to grind is to change your surroundings. Change the people that you are surrounding yourself with, because you are as successful as you decide to who you spend your time with, right? So that's taking action steps. That would grind in me. I'm grinding with a purpose. So now I got to change my circle, because now if I want to be an entrepreneur, I can't hang around people that's going to discourage me. So number one, change your circle. That's number one. Number two, write down how you're going to get there. Okay. So you can't say you want to be a millionaire and you have no plan of action, right? So number one, I changed my circle. Number two, maybe my credit messed up. I got to fix my credit. Cash is king, but credit is power. Number three, I need to get my business plan. Number four. So grinding with a purpose, because you don't want to be grinding all your life. You don't want to do that. If you 20 years in the industry and you still quote unquote grinding, you did it wrong. Grinding with a purpose, meaning writing down action steps in order to get where I want to be, in order to live out my purpose, right? Because we all guilty of that. We just think it's gonna poof out and, oh man, I'm gonna have multi-millions. No. If you listen to all millionaires, they had to grind, but they had a purpose in mind. Grind with a purpose in mind and write down action steps to get there. I also advise you get a mentor, whatever industry. If you want to be a life coach, get somebody who's been successful in life coaching. If you want to be a singer, get somebody in the music industry that has experience. Start surrounding yourself with people that's like-minded. Write down action steps, work at the action steps that you write down, and get you a mentor. Doing all that, you grind it with a purpose.
Yeah, that was powerful. So thank you so much for like taking us through what grind with a purpose is. And what really resonates for me is I feel like it kind of builds on each other, right? Because you got to believe, right? And that's like goes back to a formula I heard Jack Canfield, one of my mentors, talk about: be, right? You got to be, and that's a belief. You got to believe, you got to be the person, right? You got to be in front of it. And then the other part that kind of brings me with the grind is the do. Like sometimes people think about the law of attraction and we're like, oh, I'm going to just put it on my board, I'm going to manifest. It doesn't work. And he talked about it's all about the action in the law of attraction. That's how you get it. And I love that you brought up the millionaires, right? Every millionaire, they're working for it. Hard work is nothing's wrong with hard work. Hard work with a purpose, grind with a purpose. So that's the magic sauce right there. And then take the action.
Yeah.
And then you will get the manifestation of the action you're taking. And I love that you give us that little reminder. We are the people we're spending time with, and we're thinking about our mindset, but we have all these broke people around us. There's nothing wrong with that. But then if your intention is, I want to do this, then you need to look and bring people that's going to bring you up. And if your intention is, I want to live a life, of more of a spiritual abundance, are you around people who look at life the same way? That's going to infuse that in you. I think that is such a powerful. So I'm seeing the formula in action, right? And I can relate to it because I've worked on that piece as well. Love it. So now let's go to the consistency, because that's a lot of times where I've noticed people go really good and then all of a sudden, how do we break the consistency to the point that we are consistent? Like we're no longer breaking our word to ourselves, or we're being inconsistent. How do we do that?
Make it part of your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change, right? Like you go to work, you get hired for a job, you gotta be there 9 to 5. You put it in your schedule. You gotta be consistent. If you're not consistent going to work, guess what? You're not gonna get paid and you'll get fired, right? It's the same thing. Sometimes we fire ourselves because we don't show up every day. You got to show up for your purpose. You got to be consistent with your purpose. Being consistent is making a lifestyle change. So if I want to be, let's say, a millionaire, right? Put it in my schedule. What do I need to do? I got these action steps. So now these action steps, I got to make a schedule, right? We only got 24 hours of the day. Technically, 8 hours of the days we sleep. So we got 16 hours. In those 16 hours, whatever my purpose plan, I call it a purpose plan, right? Where my purpose plan in, I got working like a 9 to 5. It's a lifestyle change. If you do not change your life and include your purpose plan in there, then you lack consistency and you will not get where you need to go. That's what being consistent is. I've been guilty of it because I be so busy. Like the podcast, I'm going to tell you, I've been saying I'm going to do that podcast since the beginning of the year. And I sat down this fourth quarter. You know what? I'm going to start saying what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. So now I made it a lifestyle change. Look, I want to have a successful podcast. So let me make it part of my purpose plan and work it like I'm going to a 9 to 5. If you get that mentality that your purpose is as important as working that job or whatever the case may be, you're going to see that consistency, right? Because people say be consistent. Okay. But if you don't make a lifestyle change and include it in your life, it's just gonna, okay, you start and you don't finish. That's why we start and don't finish, because it's not like getting in our head like, oh man, I gotta make this a part of my life. So that's how you be consistent. Make it part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, I think that is so solid. That is such great feedback that you're providing for this audience, because it kind of goes back to the same formula I have, right? You can't have anything if you're not willing to do the work and you're not consistently doing the work that's going to lead to the results. So I love that you talked about that. And I love that you tied it back to your purpose, because at the end of life, like, what do you want? What do you want to be known for? What is that drive that you have? And then I like the fact that we all know about work, right? Because one thing this society has infused in us, that we got to work this 9 to 5, we got to do this, you got to hustle. So that's one thing we all got ingrained, right? So if you take that leverage, that mindset to say, okay, now I'm flipping it. Now it's all about working on my purpose. So I'm doing something that fulfills me inside, and you still use that same mental framework you have. So now you don't have to create a new habit. You already got the habit of thinking about work. Now you're just thinking about your purpose. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I think that's a powerful way that you brought that together. So I think we have a really great understanding of this formula here. I know you brought a free gift for the audience. Tell the audience about the free gift you brought.
Yeah. So, we deal with anxiety. Me, being a suicide survivor, I had to learn how to shift my mindset. And one of the things about shifting came along, I had to control my anxiety. in this time that we're living in, as far as just still dealing with the aftermath of COVID. They talk about we're going to go back to go to recession. A lot of people, anxiety is on the rise. So I have a free ebook. It's called the Ebonizer Anti-Anxiety Formula. I teach you how to deal with your anxiety and how to get rid of your anxiety. So yeah, I just really want to help people navigate through they mental, because I'm a big mental health advocate, and it starts here. So if we can help kind of calm down anxiety and learn how to deal with it, it'll make everything easier. So yeah, it's a free ebook. I know it's going to help the audience, everybody that's watching this interview.
Well, you know what? I thank you. And I'm so glad you're here with us, right? And you can bring this resource to everyone. Because I agree with you. I think a lot of us have anxiety, and some of us are just high functioning folks with anxiety. We just know how to deal with it. Especially when you're a high performer or a high achiever, you know how to bucket things and you know how to get going, but you still have that root cause of those anxieties that's pulling you down, that's maybe impacting your health or your livelihood. So thank you for bringing that resource. And I know folks are going to get tremendous value. So take Ebony up on this, the Ebonizer up on this, and really put those practices into your life, into your routine, that's going to help you to thrive. So the next question we have for you, Ebony, is this. Tell us, what is a non-negotiable for you? So as you think about you leveling up in your life, and also the things we talk about, bringing the joy, bringing the passion into your life and resilience while protecting your profitability, what's a non-negotiable for you as a businesswoman, as a leader?
I have to protect my peace. My peace is non-negotiable. Anything that disrupts my peace, my mindset, wherever it is, you got to go. Look, I'm too blessed to be stressed. I tell people that all the time. So anything, anyone, I don't care if it's a family, a friend, or a boyfriend, or a boo, whoever it is, if anyone disrupts your peace, your level state of mind, let them go. It's non-negotiable. I don't even think about it. Like, there's the dough. There you go. Okay. You're not disturbing my peace. So my peace, I work hard for my peace. It took me a long time to get into a place where I'm comfortable, where I know who I am. It took me a long time, and I'm still working at it. So if I work for my peace, you're not taking that away from me.
No, I think that is so beautiful. And a lot of times we don't protect that, right? That should definitely be a non-negotiable for so many of us. But we put everything else ahead of our own peace, our own joy, our own just passion. So I love that you shared that with the audience. And I hope everyone is taking notes of the things that you shared, because they've been very powerful. So the last question, and we can't let you leave without this question, I'm just curious. What does level up and thrive mean to you?
Level up means to educate yourself, empower yourself, and elevate. If you educate yourself with the knowledge, whatever case may be, whatever you want to do, if you educate, if you empower yourself every morning to say that I am beautiful, I am great, I will do great things, and it calls you to elevate in your life. That's what level up and thrive is. You have to change your surroundings. Change, like, you can't do the same things you did yesterday and expect different results. So once you educate, you empower, it's gonna automatically elevate you, and that means you're gonna level up and you're gonna thrive in whatever you want to do.
That is so beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing that, and just sharing it with such an open heart and the joy you brought to this interview. Just want to say thank you so much for being a demonstration here who's leveling up and you are thriving. So thank you.